Hey guys, welcome back. I'm going to be removing and replacing the windshield on the 59 today. I have to be extremely careful because all this stainless steel is highly polished. There's no scratches or anything in it. That top bow piece on the top of the windshield, before I installed it, I put silicone all around those holes that the bolts go through, so that if this were ever driven in the rain and rainwater were to get up there, it wouldn't drip onto the person inside the car. They used to use that black butyl stuff, but I just use silicone. So hopefully that's gonna come off all right. I hope it's not like super stuck. So basically, I just have to take my time and be really careful. The car still needs one more buffing. There's still some dull spots and stuff from it sitting and drying. So I'm not too worried about leaning on the paint because I am going to go over it again. But I have to take off both windshield wipers. I have to take off all these chrome pieces here, get these nuts off without scratching them all up. And then I got to pull off this cowl piece has to come out. Then we have to start removing all this trim and all the trim on the inside. And then at that point, I can hopefully get this windshield out. I'm hoping to be able to reuse that gasket. It's brand new. There's no sealer in the gasket as of right now. So hopefully we can get it right out. And what I normally do is after I'm all completely done with the car, I will take windshield, I don't know if you call it adhesive or whatever it is. It comes in a caulk tube. And if you cut a real fine, cut the tip just a tiny bit and you stick it down in here and you run your caulk gun all along here underneath the rubber where the rubber meets the glass. And what it does is it helps that rubber stick to the glass and make a more permanent seal, because right now this is open. I mean, water can sneak down in here and you can actually see the bottom of the glass way down in there. So by pulling that back like that and just taking that caulk gun and putting a tiny bead in there, once this rolls back, that flattens out and it kind of glues it to the window. And that keeps water from getting in the future. A lot of times these old cars, these gaskets would end up leaking or tear. And then you'd find when you take these windows out, these channels would be all rusted up because water just sits in there. So by doing that, that definitely helps prevent that. So what I need to do is flip this up, take my little hook tool here, just like I did yesterday on that 64 Impala, to get those windshield wipers off. And I need to just kind of, hopefully, carefully, I can get that clip to go forward so I can release this off the spindle. Well, it came up a little bit, so I think that clip is released now. Okay, there's one. Sucks because I'm fingerprinting everything all up and everything, but nothing you can do. Fortunately, this happens sometimes. I'd much rather be ripping apart a car that needs painted than one that's already done. Almost off. Just gotta wiggle it a little bit more. Just gonna put my pick in my pocket so I don't accidentally scratch the car or something stupid. Man, this one's tight. What the heck? This one does not want to come off. Okay, that's off. Now I need to get these, and I don't have the right tool for that, but usually a flathead screwdriver will work. It's 3 pieces. Oops. Get that other one off. And then after that, we're ready to get the cowl out, because you have to take this metal cowl out of here so that you can unscrew the bottom chrome trim. What I'm doing with this flathead is I'm putting it in the slot and turning it. As I turn the flathead, it helps me spin the nut off. Probably should have got a little bit bigger of a screwdriver, but it's working. Okay, that's out. Now we need to take the screws out of this cowl here. Fill up screws. Everything fastener wise is either plated or stainless steel to hopefully prevent from rust. These are all stainless steel screws. Now we can carefully slide this out from underneath the chrome. Okay. Now, as you can see, there are screws here on these clips, and that's what holds this bottom molding on. First, I think what I'm going to do is take off this side molding, and oops. Okay, that's glued behind it. Thank God it's not glued on it, or we'd be ripping those off too. Now the outside chrome needs to come off before the inside painted stuff, because the outside overlaps the inside painted stuff. So now we got this first corner. There's a little bit of weather stripping adhesive on the side of it, so it was kind of holding it. And yes, this is nerve-wracking if you guys are wondering. Guess we'll do the inside afterwards. Just get all the outside off. The top one I'm not going to be able to take off until I take the inside one off. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the other side piece off the other side. I'm not gonna keep moving the camera from side to side, and then I'll come back and we'll work on that lower front strip. Okay, other side's off. Now we can start working on taking these clips out. And the clips stay in the molding, they don't come out unless you slide them all the way down. I'm actually going to take my screws and just put them up there in the cowl so that they don't get lost or misplaced. As you can see, these are nicely polished screws, which you never really see, but it's all right. So we got two in here in the door jamb area, which these ones are a bit of a pain to get to. And boy, I hope there's not, okay, good. Thought there was gonna be one behind the fender, because this windshield went in before the front clip went on, I believe. Yes, it did. Actually, I know it did. Okay. And you can see how these clips are. They go into the trim and then they fold down. This holds the cowl up and that screws into the car. Those are the original clips that I sandblasted and repainted them black because they were, of course, rusty. So that side's apart. The only thing I'm really worried about is that top bow piece. As long as that pops off the silicone without a big issue, we should be just fine. Now I'm probably gonna have somebody help me put the windshield in, and I probably won't be able to tape that part, but I can at least tell you how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna use a piece of rope. I'll show you how it's set up. I try not to film other people when they're helping me because a lot of people get uncomfortable with it, so I just don't worry about it. Well, at least I see where that went. So far, so good. Okay, now I'm gonna go on the inside. Okay, let me see. Hopefully that tripod will stand up inside the car here. And I just need to take my time and start unscrewing all this stuff. I'm gonna put all my interior screws over in here, up there, just to keep them out of the way. They are different sizes, but I know a pretty good idea where they all go. Okay, I didn't put one in down there yet. Now, unfortunately, hopefully I don't scratch any of these, but if I do, I have the paint. I can touch them up. These side ones are a pain in the butt. this one's gonna come off first. Sorry, I'm blocking the camera. I should stick this back there. Get that out of the way. All right. That's done. We got these screws for the top here, or the top of the dash rather. Might have to get a screwdriver. I don't know if my drill's gonna fit. I might. I guess I don't really have to worry about the windshield. We have this little centerpiece here. Okay, now we just got to do the driver's side. And then I think we're ready to release it. Well, I got to get this top bow off. And then we'll be ready to, hopefully, get the window out. This side came off a lot easier than the passenger. Okay, we got 2 screws left. The electronic eye is in the way for one of them, maybe both of them. Okay, let me go get a little screwdriver to get that last screw out. I gotta figure out the steering. it's a little stiff. I don't know why yet. Is that gonna fit in there? Man, I don't wanna have to go under the dash and loosen this all up. I had an angle screwdriver and I don't know where I put it. I've lost it. But we got one screw left that's in the way. Okay, I got that last screw out. I used a little 1/4" ratchet. Took a little, I didn't film it because it took a little bit to get it out, so. All right. This top bow, I think they're nuts. Yep, they are 3/8, I think. So those sheet metal nuts. Let me grab a 3/8 socket real quick. Eleven 30 it looks like. You'll hear the squeaking of all the hinges because nothing is greased yet. I don't grease anything in the shop. Once I take it outside, I'll grease everything. I don't want to get any oil anywhere. What the heck size is that? Huh. Yeah, give me a second. Let me figure out what socket that is. It's actually a 5/16. Feels like it's releasing. Just going slow. I want to bend it. Beautiful. And then I got. Okay. So now we can work on hopefully just pushing this windshield out. And then at that point, it'll be ready for the new windshield. Actually, that came apart fairly easily. I was definitely happy with that. Nothing got bent, nothing got scratched. Sorry, I'm wiggling you guys all around. I'm trying to set the tripod back up and see if I can push this out of the gasket by myself, since it's not glued yet. Hoping I can just roll it. It's not like I have to worry about breaking it. I prefer not to crack it all up, but got one side started. we go. Now, if that were glued in, we'd have to probably cut the gasket and get a new gasket, because that's usually how you have to take them out. Okay, we are out. All right, so now it'll be a little bit, and I'll get this, let me get a stand, get the other one out of the box. We'll get the gasket on there and I'll show you how it's gonna go on. Okay, I got the windshield out of the box. I'm leaving the bubble wrap on the stand just for extra protection. Now we got to cut off the plastic, and then there is a rubber band that goes around it. It's like a material to protect the edges. We got to get that off. This is wrapped a little differently than the last one was. Okay, now we can peel this off. I'm gonna kind of make sure there's no big chips or anything on these edges. I didn't see anything on the other one when I took it off. I didn't see any chipping. So I have no idea how that one cracked, what caused it to crack. I don't know, I don't know about this company. Like right here, see it or not. Look, it's like got a little bit of delaminating between the two layers of glass. Yes, that'll get covered up with the gasket. Or is that glue or something? It's between the two layers. I don't know. Put it in, see what it does. If that gets worse over time, then it's gonna have to get replaced again. You know, is that gonna spread? The funny thing is, that's on the exact same side that that last one cracked on. But that other one, I don't think it has that on the other one. Maybe it does. Better double check here. No, this one doesn't have that. But you can see where it cracked. Right here, it went across, up to there, and then it went this way, and it's just traveling as you push on it. It just cracks more and more. But I don't know. So all we can do is try. Don't mind my mess right now. I got a lot of cleaning up to do today from stripping down this car yesterday. So all right, I'm gonna get that gasket and start laying it on here. Okay, now we got to start putting it onto the glass. Basically just take your time, slide it over the glass edge. everything. Okay. Have it on the glass now. These sides want to pop off. That always happens. Makes it a little bit more difficult to put them in, but that's on there. Let me go grab a piece of rope now. All right, this is what I use. I like to start in the center of the top. And what you do is get yourself a big piece of rope out here. And you slide it in this slot. Leave about a foot or so hanging out. Okay, and we'll leave another foot. So then, when I get some help here, we lay the windshield back into place. I go on the inside, somebody pushes on the outside, and we lightly put pressure out here while I'm slowly pulling the rope out. As I'm pulling the rope out, it is twisting that gasket up underneath this, so it's rolling it around that edge and bringing it to the inside where it needs to be. Like I said, I'm probably not going to video that part. I don't know if he wants to get on the video or not. So, but that's basically how it's done. So next part will be more than likely it being in place, and hopefully we don't have any issues. Okay, the new windshield is installed. No cracks or anything, so it's in place. I'm going to let it set tonight. Let that gasket do what it's got to do. I actually have a little stick plastic pry bar sitting in there, that gasket, just to stretch it a little bit closer to the body, because there was a gap like that between the body and the gasket. You know, this is aftermarket. You got an aftermarket windshield and an aftermarket gasket. Some of the shit just fits like junk. So I have it stretched right now, and I have some glue in there. So once the glue sets up, I should be able to pull that plastic pry bar out, and it'll be tight like it is over here. I put a little silicone in there just to make sure that it stays tight, but it is nice and tight on this side. But like I said, that side has a little bit of a gap. So I like to put a little silicone in there just to make sure. And what that does is I just do this whole edge, and that keeps water from sitting down in this corner that gets in there. you know, from behind the moldings, because you know it's going to happen. So, all right, so that's going to end this video. At least we have another windshield in there. It is currently not cracked anywhere. So if this thing cracks overnight, I don't know what to do, because then it's something to do with the glass people, because I've done nothing different. I've put many windshields in and never had a problem with them. And I've actually beat on windshields to get them to go into the gaskets. This one literally just goes right in. Barely any fussing with it to get it in place. So that's going to end this video on the 59. So next we'll be putting the trim back on the windshield, get the cowl back in, and then we are going to get ready to start this thing. Still have to figure out power going to the dash. I have to hook up this red wire coming from the distributor to the negative side of the coil still, because there's no longer points in the distributor, so I need to put that to the negative side of the coil. This ballast resistor is not being used because this will reduce your 12 volts down to 8 volts or something like that if you have points, so we're not going to use that. I'm going to leave it on the firewall though, just so it's there. This is just a plastic cover over a battery. But once we get it running, I have to fix that exhaust flanges first. So I got to pull off the front pipes, but then once we get it running, I'm going to get it back on the ground, put the hood on it, and then I can start wrapping this thing up. So basically I got to get the hood on it. I have to put the moldings on the hood. Still have to put the door top moldings on. I have to put the fuzzies on those between there. I need to put the power windows in, front and rear power windows, and power vent window too. So all that still has to get done, and there's a Continental kit that still needs put on, which is, those are the parts right there that are painted. They're just dusty from sitting, but those need to go on. I need to sandblast those parts because they came rusty. They apparently got caught in the rain. So I got to sandblast parts for the 64. So I'm going to blast those real quick. Those are all the brackets and everything that hold the Continental kit to the back of the car. So I'll just hit that all with the sandblaster when I do these 64 hinges and all that stuff. So all right guys, if you're liking what you're seeing, please like, subscribe. Any questions or comments, feel free to ask. Other than that, I will probably see you tomorrow night. I think tomorrow night I want to get these this windshield back together all the way. So all right guys, have a good night.